My favorite underrated comedian right now, and he hotter than fish grease right now, is going to be Ali Saddiq.
Oh, he's good.
Ali Saddiq
he's good.
is one of those guys where he just comes in the room or the special starts and he just goes, hey.
Yeah.
That means I done been through some things.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down and I'm going to tell you this story.
Right.
I got to tell y'all something about Ali Saddiq that I've fully didn't understand.
Talk to me.
It was that whole, there was no comedian to me that really gave that story of going to prison and living that prison life for a while.
That's true.
And then finding something funny about it. Usually when I think of prison movies, it ain't nothing happy. Prison song, trash. It's terrible. Lockdown, trash. Shawshank, trash. I don't think of nothing funny about jail.
No.
Ali Saddiq doesn't have one, doesn't have two, doesn't have three, but he has 4 specials where he's telling. Actually, count Life Behind is outside of these bars, so he has a Comedy Central special too. He has specials that are closed quarter environments that tells each story. You can't watch any of the domino effects without watching the very first one.
Absolutely.
But you can't watch domino effect unless you watch the story that he tells on This Is Not Happening. I say all of that to say is one of my favorite bits and one of the best bits and the best stories that could be possibly told. Mexicans got on boots. If you have no idea what Mexicans got on boots story is, you can type that in. So he put it on This Is Not Happening. That was on it was on Comedy Central channel. That was like one of his stories that he put out there, and it got multi-million views, right? He then realized, 6 years ago. I'm sorry. Shout out to the Knots.
Shout out to the Knots.
He actually, Ali Saddiq had 6 years in prison. That's what he spent. But yeah, almost 10 years. That's right. But he was sentenced to 10 years.
Good.
But the reason why I'm saying all of that is the Mexicans got on boot story. He had on This Is Not Happening. That story alone was hilarious, and it got multi-million of views, right? But there were parts and pieces that he was missing. There were people that he didn't mention that he could mention. So he literally did the domino effect where he explains how he was selling dope. And you got to watch the first domino effect because that is what sets off the rest of them. Because the second one talks about loss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The third one, he talks about the life that happens in prison and how he made it out of prison in the fourth one.
Yeah.
But the reason why he tells that story is because if you watch all of the domino effects, his last and the most recent Mexicans got on boot story, he now is saying the names of the people that he was in jail with. But you wouldn't have known that if you hadn't watched it. Ali Saddiq is one of the best storytellers.
One of the best storytellers.
Like, and I'm talking about, I put him up there with Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes to telling a story, I put him up there with Kevin Hart. When you talk about somebody, you're so engulfed in the story, you want to know these people that are in there, man. Like, I got some more, but I'm gonna let you cook. Do you have any love about anything?
Oh, absolutely.
Or about Ali Saddiq?
The first time I ran into Ali Saddiq is when he was on the Joe Rogan show, and he was giving a story about how somebody can lose and make it make sense, and it will be all right if he losing. So he said there was a pimp that he took his gun off his hip, he put his gun down, and he said, "We're gonna square up." We squared up. He got beat up. And then after, the first thing he said after he got himself off the ground, he said, "That joke was fast, wasn't he?" That was the funniest. And then the fact that gives credit to his storytelling, you know, and the fact that he puts you in that front seat when you're talking about, because you imagine that, you know, if you've seen somebody get pissed down their leg, and then they got up and be like, "That joke was fast, wasn't he?" He lumped all up and everything. You'd be like, you know, it wasn't bad. He got beat up. He was fast.
Today's episode is brought to you by Hollis Haven, revolutionizing the truck driver's experience at every stop. Make sure you follow the website at hollishaven.com and follow on all social media platforms. And make sure you use that hashtag Safe Stops Ahead. It is one of those things too where in the black culture we don't like to highlight prison, but a lot of those questions and answers Ali Saddiq has in his material where, it was rough for a lot of the people in there. It was rough. But in those times, there are some good times. You know what I'm saying? Like I really have a further understanding on how it goes down in certain places and certain things when it comes to being in these type of institutions and stuff like that. he is an example that you can make it out.
Yeah.
And actually do something of your life and do something with yourself. And not only that, you can make a good and honest living outside of it.
Absolutely.
Even though he told us a lot of people he made money outside. But this money that he making now is the best money. Why? Because he can go to sleep with no problem, man. Yeah. Underrated comedians, man. Like I
underrated as well. And I'm gonna touch on something. Pause.
Go ahead. Whoa. Whoa.
And, you know, and that's I have a lot in common with these comedians because they never stopped. You know, it's funny. Patrice ONeil was also a writer on WWE.
Yeah,
he was.
A writer. Yes, I forgot about that.
He's a comedian, but he was a writer on WWE. Yeah. And the fact that he didn't like something, he didn't bend, he didn't fold. He just said, "I'm leaving."
Do you know which wrestler he's written a couple jokes for?
I know one was Kane.
The other was The Rock.
I'm not surprised.
He had a couple, so what happens is The Rock always had good lines, but Patrice would definitely tell him, hey, well, you know, not tell him, but that was
don't
one
say
of
this.
Man.
And then the fact that, you know, even with Earthquake, I mean, he couldn't get on nobody's stage, but he got his own stage. You know, one of the times where he complained to his mother and saying, "Hey, they're not letting me in. I moved all the way from D.C. to Atlanta, and I'm not getting a shot." And she said, "Well, you can't cry about not somebody else not riding your bike. You got to get your own bike." Man, listen. You know what I mean? The same with David Allen Greer. Even though he played his position so well to the point where he's so relevant to this day, he never stopped. That's something that I can contest to. You know, there was opportunities that was closed in my face and I got a bunch of no's, but listen, I was the one that said yes and I kept going. So that's how I can relate to these comedians. Man, look, and last but not least, I gotta give the love and admiration that I always gonna have. Rest in peace to Patrice ONeil. Rest in peace, Patrice ONeil.
Rest in peace to T-Reid.
Rest in peace to T-Reid.
I mean, like the reason why they're underrated because they no longer here. But if they were here, it would be a very large impact.
Absolutely.
Shout out to David Allen Greer, who is the most seasoned on that list. Yes. Like he's one of those cats you can always go and ask some questions. I feel like he's very personable and stuff like that. Yep. Shout out to Tony Baker. He gave me the inspiration to just do the content, do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to do it on Instagram, do it on Instagram. If you want to collaborate, do it on your own. Be independent. That's the role I like from it. And another thing for Ali Saddiq, all of those specials that I named, the domino effect, it ain't like Netflix can take it away from them. It ain't like HBO Max can take it away from them. You can watch it right now on YouTube. I did it myself. And he look and for those guys, and I'm missing the last one. We said David Allen Greer. We said David Allen Greer. We said Patrice ONeil. Who was your third?
Earthquake.
Oh, yes. And the thing about Earthquake, another seasoned veteran. Absolutely. Where it does not matter how long you've been in this game. Once you get on. You get on. You know what I mean? But hey, listen. In the comment section below, please put under who are y'all favorite underrated comedians? Who do y'all think should get a little bit more recognition? Do you think that the three that me and T-Reid have chose, they're getting their just due? Or they're getting that? But it really ain't going to matter. Because at the end of the day,
I call it how I see it.
Now, before we go, wait a minute.